We got another childhood horror movie, and it's actually not too bad. We're talking about a Pinocchio Unstrung. It is the new movie in the Twisted Childhood universe. Movies like Pooh, Blood and Honey, Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, Bambi, and Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. I've only ever seen Pooh, Blood and Honey. I've tried to watch Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 like 3 times. I just can't get into it. Eventually, I'm going to finish that movie, and then I'll probably end up watching Bambi and Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. But I watched Pinocchio because it debuted with 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think now it's dropped to about 86. And I don't know why it hit 100%. I'm not going to lie. It's not a terrible movie, but it definitely doesn't deserve 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey didn't even hit 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think when it debuted, it was at 96, which is still a solid score and honestly deserved for The Odyssey. But for a movie like this, coming out at 100% is crazy to me. And I just think it's honestly because it had a couple big names in it. And biggest one being Robert Englund, and everybody thought, oh yeah, this is going to be great. And I think that's what everybody went into because admittedly, Robert Englund's role in this film is quite short, but it is actually a solid role. He does use a couple like derogatory terms towards women for like no reason. They just seem to be like randomly thrown in there for whatever reason. And it's just like unnecessarily like just super vulgar just to be vulgar. But I don't know, like his role in the film is pretty solid other than that. When I went into this film, I really didn't have any expectations going in because I really didn't know what to expect. I just knew that this movie debuted with 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, so I went in with thinking, okay, this movie's got to be pretty solid. But I didn't have any other expectations other than that going in. So this movie kind of kept me at a midpoint. I really didn't come out of this movie feeling super hyped, but I really didn't come out of this movie feeling disappointed either. It's just okay. This movie doesn't really do anything to reinvent the wheel. I mean, it's a very bare bones story. It's something original in a way, but it's also something we've seen before. Like, it's not, I don't know really how to explain it. I really can't pick out a movie that's been done like this. But the story is like, it just feels like something we've seen before. It just feels overdone. But it's also original in a way. If you get what I mean, leave it down in the comments. I don't really know how to explain it other than that. But it's just okay for what it is. So what is Pinocchio Unstrung? Influenced by a sinister cricket and created by Geppetto, Pinocchio launches a violent crusade to carve himself into a real boy like his brother James, one piece at a time. So if you like these like parody style horror movies that are based on your childhood, like if you enjoyed, the Pooh movies, or you enjoyed the Bambi movie or the Peter Pan movie, I haven't watched those, but if you enjoyed those, you'll probably enjoy this because like I said, it's admittedly better than those. But it's also fun in a way for horror, but it's also not really that scary. It tries to do gore in a way that is overdone, but also been done before and kind of new. Just like all of their movies, the effects, the physical like makeup and effects is very like cheesy and bad looking, but they're getting better because there are some that I was like, oh, that actually looks pretty gory. So if you like that stuff, you'll probably like this. But like I said, it's a very mid movie. I honestly don't think it's something that's going to be talked about a lot. So let's talk about some pros. What are the pros in this film? Well, I mean, Pinocchio looks really, really freaking good. Like, he is actually looking kind of creepy looking, and at least at the beginning of the movie, the way he does his like movements is something we've seen before, like kind of like that twitching movements. But it's also creepy because he's made of wood, and his design in general is scary looking. And honestly, some of the acting is decent, and honestly, the voice acting for Pinocchio and Cricket and the Wood Mother in this film are actually pretty good. So let's talk about some cons. some of the acting is pretty bad. It's a pro and a con. Like, some of these actors in this film are pretty solid, and then some of them are just like really corny and bad. And we see that in a lot of these movies. Like I said, the story is very bare bones. It isn't very a fleshed out story. It's very just like, you get in, you get out, and there's not a lot to it. I mean, this movie's only an hour and a half, so if that tells you anything, like I said, there's not a lot to this. But stick around for the end credits, because there is a mid-credit scene, and then there's a blooper reel at the end of the film. And that alone, the reason I'm bringing this up is because that like blooper reel and behind the scenes reel at the end of the film shows you that the cast really does enjoy making these movies. And all of those things, even the actors who may not have worked on movies like these before, are smiling, laughing, joking around. The people you recognize, like the actor from Christopher Robin, the director you've seen direct multiple of these movies, they're all just having a good time. And I think that does bring a lot of fun to these movies, and why it's like, okay, these aren't bad because the people who are creating them are having a good time and trying to make something special. They're just not, how do I put this? They're just not like used to making movies. Like, that's why these are indie films, because it's not something that like big filmmakers are going to be making. I'm honestly going to skip the standout moment because there's not really, I sat here for like a good 5 minutes thinking about a moment that I could like pick out and choose as a standout moment. There's really not any moment that shocks you in a way or takes the story to a different theme or craziness in the rest of the film. There's not really a moment like that. So I really do think I'm just going to skip over the standout moment of the film, because there's not really one for this film. And there's not a lot of time to do that with an hour and a half. So let's talk about answer 3 big questions. Would I watch it again? Would I recommend it? And is it going to be better on streaming or in theaters? Would I watch it again? Honestly, I might watch it again just to show like people like my girlfriend or my dad kind of enjoys movies like this. I mean, he really liked the mean one, the Grinch one, which is crazy to me. I might show my sister these because she really enjoys the Terrifier film. She also enjoyed the mean one, so this is something that they'll enjoy. So I might watch it with them just to show them this film. But to go out and watch it like for enjoyment, for me, I probably am not going to do it. It's not, these movies aren't something I go and search out to enjoy. It's just something I do because I'm like, let's check it out, let's watch it. It's not like one of those films you turn on like, oh, I haven't seen this in a while. Like, it's not like that. Like, I probably wouldn't go back and watch the mean one after watching that, or the Mickey Mouse one on the boat. I don't even remember what that one was called. Slash Bot Willie or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I wouldn't go back and watch films like that either, to be honest. Would I recommend it? If you enjoy stuff like this, I do recommend it. It is better than a lot of those films. Like the Steamboat Willie one I was just talking about, it is better than that. It's better than, Pooh, Blood and Honey 1. I as far as I know, it's better than Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, because I've tried to watch that 3 times and I just can't get into it. So if you enjoy stuff like that, then you will enjoy this because it is good enough. But if you're looking for something scary, looking for some horror, this is not it. Now, is this going to be better on streaming or in theaters? I really don't think this is a movie you need to go pay the money for in theaters. It's really not something that needs to be done. It's just mid, and if I wasn't an A-list member, I probably would have skipped this movie anyway. But yeah, it's definitely not something I'd go and search out at theaters. When it comes to streaming on Peacock, because that's usually where these go, I would definitely check it out. At least it is decent enough to watch at home, but it's not something you should go see on the big screen. So with that being said, I actually gave this a 3-star rating just because it is decent. It does a lot of cool elements. It has some decent story, but it is very bare bones, and I just wish we would have got a little more out of it. So with that being said, guys, thank you guys for tuning in to another movie review. If you guys are enjoying this, please subscribe, hit that like button, and follow all the links below, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.